Alright, so we should be live, Killer Kitty.
Okay, I'm still here.
Yeah, let me just pull up the thing, and I'll notify Shab Chat. Alright, looks like I'm seeing it. I'll test just stuff. Cool. How are they doing that? There we go. Okay. I go back to mine. Yeah, should be good. Okay. We are on. Oop. Hi, Autoloot. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. Let me notify Shab Chat. Just getting our bearings a little bit, real quick. Alright, Killer Kitty. You ready to start?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Pulling up the stream.
Yeah. Yeah, see how it looks on your end. Yeah, I'm glad you can make it to this one, Autoloot. Yeah, we decided the last one because we ended up going at a slower pace than we anticipated, so we decided that we're going to do a little bit of a series with these. So I'm expecting probably another 2 or so after this.
Yeah, the last one, there's just so much to talk about.
Yeah, so I guess just we can do introductions again. So hello, I'm Swan Puppy. I hang around in the Persona Discord, Chap Chat. Been playing Shadow Labrys for about almost 2 years now, a year and a half, a little more. Think of it, Killer Kitty with me. Killer Kitty.
Hello everybody. I am Killer Kitty. I've been playing since vanilla. I've been playing Shab for I don't know, like 8 years now. I've been if you've been around the Shab or just Persona in general, you probably know who I am.
Yep.
If you're watching this video, then you have some interest in Shab, so hopefully you at least recognize who I am.
Yeah. And then, yeah, so as far as what we're covering this time, so last time we went over basically just Shab's moveset with added commentary about use cases for all of her moves. So this time the goal is going to be like, how do you play neutral with this character? Because I think that's a tricky spot for learning, like just managing Asterius, how to like what buttons to combine Asterius with. And then we'll talk about pressure and block strings. How do you get in, do pressure with the character, and then going to some actual basic like BnBs, combos to get you rolling with.
Yeah.
So that's the goal for this stream. I guess we can just go ahead and get it started, really.
Yeah, it's important to know like what to do with this character. Like, what do you want to be doing in this character? How do you want in my opinion, just in fighting games in general, you kind of want to know how you want the match to go. Like, how do you want the flow of the battle to be?
Yeah.
And for Shab, it's pretty simple because her offense is absurdly strong. In the last video, we talked about her role in Persona as a puppet character / glass cannon, and her offense is insanely strong. Probably the most devastating Oki in the game. Probably like second to maybe Yukari or Mitsuru. Like there's a lot of good Oki in the game. Shab is definitely one of those characters that you just blow up. You die in 2 combos.
Literally. She can literally 2-touch you with the right combos.
But I mean, like, that's like half the cast, right, in Persona.
Yeah.
But like, what do you want to be doing with this character? I think the big thing about this character is that will gatekeep a lot of people is the fact that Shab's buttons are very slow. Like, I don't know if you want to like switch to mine or just like talk about the ones that I'm saying.
Yeah.
Some of these buttons have a lot of recovery. Like 5A isn't anything too spectacular. 5B can leave you vulnerable because like the Gatlings in 5B have gaps. So like this is unsafe. So what do you want to be doing? You want to be using Asterius. Asterius 5C. You can hold 5C. So there's the fast version, which does less damage, and then there's the longer version, which will do more damage, and you can use this to stagger your pressure. So, and something that a lot of people don't really take into account, the block stun you get when with Asterius buttons are a lot. So,
Yeah.
you know, when you get hit by 5C, you have enough time to run up and do something else. You want to continue your pressure. You want to like throw in mix-ups. You know, just do whatever. Also, this button, this laser button, has like really good. Like I don't even know. Do you know how plus you are on this? It's got to be like
It
in
it
a
de-
certain amount.
it would depend on exactly the way it hits.
Right. It
Like
varies too,
yeah,
right?
because if you get the plume to hit, then you get extra frame advantage. But even without the plume, it's a lot. Like
And
enough.
you know, you know what I really like doing too with that is that because it's variable, you know, like the pillar gives a hit, but you could also do like, you know, like sneak in and throw because they get pushed out of the thing.
Yeah. But let's go ahead and let's just talk. Let's start with some neutral, like, because I feel like combos are one thing, right? But like actually like moving around with the character, um, and knowing like what are hits that you can confirm, um, and when you have pressure, how do you keep pressure, and
Yeah.
incorporate mix-ups into the pressure.
Mhm.
So
I I think it's important to know that like Shabber's buttons, like when you get a hit, it, depending on what the bull is doing, you can convert it pretty easy. Shab's conversion rate is I think one of the highest in the game,
mhm.
just because you know, bull kind of just does stuff, and you have to. I think it's important that if you play this character, you want to be able to get confirms off random hits,
Yeah.
right? Asterius will just do things, and they may get blocked, they may not,
Mhm.
and I think confirming off of those hits really ups your damage.
Yeah, and I'm gonna switch to my screen here. I think like a big mantra that I think is going to be like that's good to keep in the back of your mind when playing Shabbers is to cover your bull. Like we talked about like 5D last time, so this is your bull guard. Yeah, like he's invulnerable to everything. This is really important. I would say honestly like half the time or more you're holding bull guard on this character. Like it's really important that you keep him protected, especially in certain matchups like Narukami here, really good at killing bull. So like 5D is just really important. Um, and and then when you get displacement with them, it actually is really handy. So if you're protecting him, say Narukami is trying to kill your bull, you can actually kind of get it to if you can get into a spot where he ends up behind the opponent, that's really advantageous for you. Um, and then you can coordinate with it. So let's just take like for example, if you do 7 to block, if you do 2C, right? You can set 2C to block, and like if they block it, that's a win, right? But you have to take advantage of that, because if you just leave him sitting there, you don't do anything with that. Narukami can press like 5C, for example, and kill the bull, right? And we want to avoid that, like that. You can do that. So you want to avoid that. So if you get that, for example, you could cancel into. We talked about the special cancels from his bull normals. You can cancel into a hammer or a laser or any other special. Um, and then with that, you can do something like, cover it with a chain knuckle. If you know that they're going to try to tag it, you can kind of counter tag with chain knuckle, and that's sort of like how you want to be coordinating. Chain knuckle by itself is honestly like not great, because if it whiffs, you're in recovery for so long that it's easy to take a hit, especially if you're getting jumped in on. But if you have it covered with Asterius, then all of a sudden your chain knuckle is covered. So covering your bull and having Asterius cover you is a really important concept with her. So a couple of examples of that. If you're like in this mid range, like a chain knuckle combined with like C laser, for example, is like one way of doing kind of a mid range poke. And C laser, keep in mind, has that faster startup, but mind you, it also does have really long recovery compared to D laser. So if you do get a hit on that, it can be tricky, or you just have like your follow up won't be, you're kind of limited to 8C. Whereas with D laser, you could do a little bit more, depending on the exact hit. do you have anything you want to add, Killer Kitty?
Oh, yeah, I think that's good. Like, I think learning when to hold the button and when not to hold the button is very important. I'm talking about 5D, of course, because one of the big weaknesses that Shab has is holding 5D doesn't allow you to throw. So, like, if your opponent wants to, like, let me see, if your opponent wants to, like, run up and throw you and you're holding 5D, it's really hard to, to throw out of it because you could see, since I'm holding the D button half the time, I'll be mashing and I'll be mashing 5C. 5C doesn't allow me to detect the throw the same. So I think the difference between holding Asterius and pressing Asterius makes a huge difference.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, 5D is just really important all around
The
for managing a series in general. But yeah, definitely being aware of tapping versus
Also,
holding.
yeah, there's a big difference between tapping and holding. There's also, I think, just in general, because holding the button in conjunction with doing air turn is also a big thing.
Yeah.
When you air turn a Shab, you will notice 5C or some C button will come out. Usually 8C.
That's such your
This
screen.
also happens with the roll, and it is important to learn how to do 5D plus air turn or dodge.
Hmm.
I think just general movement with Shab is very good to understand. Like if you're up here, like if you want to super jump, you can also do bull commands.
Hmm.
Movement with Shab involves a lot of bull actions. So like if we're if we want to set up AC but we don't want to jump, we could do things that will help us like movement wise.
Yep.
And I think it's important too, like when you have Asterius in that situation where he's like the sandwich situation, you can also make him do moves.
Yeah, and sandwiches are if you can get Asterius behind your opponent,
Hmm.
it's a really
Yeah,
advantageous spot to be in because it gives you
like
it opens up left right mix-ups on top of high
yeah,
lows.
I think the bull displacement is really good, and like even in this situation where you're holding 5D, you still have time to do like a D laser.
Hmm.
It doesn't something like when you're holding the bull, it doesn't automatically zoom to you. It has like a few frames to where like bull can do action, but like doesn't immediately come back to you. So even if like it's right here and you wanna at most like TV punch or whatever reason, uh, it's a difference between holding where like I'm free and there's no like button. I could do like my own like normal compared to like when you're holding 5D and
Hmm.
something. Because something that does happen is you could get burst while holding the button.
Yeah, yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
If you press D and air turn at the same time, you'll get a gold burst on accident, so you have to be careful with that.
Yeah, it does happen. It's one of those things that you have to get used to, and like being able to do it is very strong, like there are a lot of things you could do, like go from non-blocking
Hmm.
to like put displacing yourself as a Shab. So I think just movement in general, right? Like even on round start, you could like backdash while doing like hammer, or you could set up laser, or something that's really good too. Like you would super jump. I'm sorry, you would super jump, get other side. It's an easy way to set up a like the bull can go basically wherever you want you tell it to go, which I think is very good.
Hmm.
There's never like a bad time where bull can't be used.
Yeah,
It depends
yeah,
on the matchup too.
yeah,
But like movement, I think is something that like a lot of people don't think about, or just protecting the bull, because there's a lot of people that will be blocking, but then they leave Asterius wide open,
yeah.
and your opponent will like just start wailing on you.
Right. You gotta cover. You gotta
Eh,
protect them with the 5D for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I guess let's talk about some more neutral tools. I'm gonna switch back to my screen here. So I was
mhm.
talking about like knuckle and laser being a combo you can use You can kind of use any variation of knuckle and laser. Like you can do A knuckle, C laser. If you're further away, like B knuckle, D laser can be an option. Or you know, B knuckle, C laser. The C laser comes out a little faster. Again, you do have, or even or even knuckles and hammers. To kind of combine. Again, with knuckle, you do have to be careful of like if they're in the air, right? Like you probably don't want to chain knuckle. I've had many times where I've kind of autopiloted chain knuckle, and they're in the air, and you can you take a big air hit. So you have to be careful of that. But if they are in the air, then you can do something. Killer Kid was talking about covering bull action. So if they're in the air a lot, you can just preemptively do a 5A to 8C. 8C is pretty active, covers a ton of space, so that will block that off. And then you can contest this ground space with things like 5B, sweep, while the air is blocked off. Or even, a little 8 knuckle as a check.
8C you could think of as an anti... you think of it as an anti-air. Where, like moves like Liz's tornadoes you think of, right? Like where Liz has an air stall. Like you would think of Shab's 2B as the anti-air. And Liz's tornado is an anti-air, and Asterius' flame 8C will beat that. So it's like the answer to that, right? A lot of common, like if you want to know some of the common buttons, common buttons are like, or common combinations are like A chain knuckle with C laser. There's also the guillotine with hammer.
Mm-hmm.
This is very common to see.
Guillotine with 8C as well.
You can get a combo off of that. What else is there?
Guillotine 8C.
5C with sweep is very common.
Yeah.
What else? What are some other common things?
Guillotine
2B 8C.
Yeah, 2B 8C.
Like the
guillotine 8C. Guillotine A 8C.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, right. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, into 8C.
Because it's the same motion. You can literally do the same button, like or like.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. I haven't done it in a while.
Here, let me. I'll switch them. Just like you can get a. You can get something like that.
Oh, I do it as soon as you switch the screens.
Yeah. Yeah. Guillotine 8C. I guess while I'm on guillotine, like guillotine is actually kind like, I've found that it actually can be a neutral tool, provided you have a serious cover, because it's sort of like the way I think of if I'm gonna use a guillotine in neutral, like a guillotine A for example, because it's pretty active for one thing. I think it's 7 active frames on both versions, and it covers a lot of like vertical space. Like if you look at like the hitbox here, right? Like that's a lot of vertical space, so it will catch people out of the air from a decent range. And then again, you cover with something like 8C, you get a combo off of it. Like I get this as a starter, guillotine into 8C, quite often. Just like this, and you can kind of usually I'll pick up, depending on the distance, with something like JB, JA, 214A in the air, into like a hammer knockdown. In that case, I did D hammer actually, and I guess just sort of a note about. Like 8C. So if 8C hits, but it hits from a far range, you have to be careful with the version of hammer that you use, because if it's really far, let's see if I can get it. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do C hammer. See how the hammer whiffed, right? That was C hammer. That was like the max range 8C. Now if I do it again, and I do D hammer hits, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Like that's something that will come with time. Like you might not get it right away. But just like, that's like where part of the difficulty of Shab, right, is looking at like not only what hit you've gotten, but also where is Asterius and what state is he in? Can he cancel into something, and can you combo in, into a knockdown or something? It's part of the difficulty of playing Shab, right? And that comes with time.
Yeah.
But just something to keep in mind. So yeah, guillotine 8C.
About those two moves, like when you're juggling your opponent and you use hammer as a knockdown, it actually has 2 different knockdown situations. you recover a lot. Your opponent recovers faster with 5C, or the C version of Hammer, than they
Yes.
would the D version.
Or the knockdowns in the same, but yeah, the Asterius recovery is longer
Hmm.
for the D version than for the C version. So usually you want the C version to knock down, but in certain situations the D version does come in handy.
Yeah. It also, I also really like, because like once you get your opponent to the corner, I don't know if we're talking about later, but like once you get your opponent in the corner, a lot of these moves become like guillotine becomes a lot more uh convertible, I guess.
Hmm.
Right? Your opponent can be blocking everything. This is very common to see
Yep.
where, like,
Yeah, we'll kind of talk about these corner confirms as we go
huh?
along. Yeah. Some,
Yeah, but like this move, which you would get like, good reward from, you get better reward from doing it. So like a lot of these moves become better because the properties change in the corner.
yeah, or just
Um,
having the wall bounces and whatnot from the corner.
yeah. In neutral, like Shabers has good air buttons. I think her both buttons, both of her B buttons, which is JB and J2B,
Hmm.
serve different purposes, but they're both very good.
Yeah. What I
Uh,
will say, like, if I'm gonna go to my screen for a sec. So take hammer for in like on the air buttons, right? So if
mhm.
we take hammer, so hammer has a common like as you kind of play more and like people you start to play people that are more familiar with the matchup. A common response to hammer is to actually jump over it. So like all of this. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can have Narukami record it. Oop, let's see, something like that. So if I do hammer, so you can jump over it like that, and then like if I'm not paying attention, I can get Oh well, he actually ate the but the idea is right. Like there you go, something like that. That's kind of So sometimes you'll see that response to hammer, and other moves too. Like if you put out a laser, um, and you have Shabris available to move herself, like people also try to jump over the laser. Um, I mean, he got hit that time, but you get the idea. So if you're trying to contest that airspace above, Asterius, either when he's in recovery or just from dodging a hitbox, like that's where you know JB or J2B have a lot of use because JB has the more kind of wide hitbox. Killer K described it as a stop sign last screen in the last screen. So that's a really good use case, but J2B as well. And J2B in particular, like if you're in that air-to-air space, right? So let's say I record that Narukami again. Let's like replicate the situation. Boom. Like if you get a counter hit on J2B, like they're in counter hit for so long. Um, like so this took me kind of a while to get used to, but like if you get that counter hit, look like literally hit the ground, right? Like be patient. Like this is huge. You can literally wait and pick up with the 5A. Um, like it's big damage. That was supposed to be a 2C. It's a really good starter. You can convert this into like even with the 5A, I can convert this into about 3.2 maybe. I dropped it, but it would be about 3.2 even with the 5A. Um,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah, it's a really good starter, and
yeah.
it comes out fast. It
There we
comes out
go.
faster than
3.5.
JB.
Yeah.
It comes out. It comes out faster than JB. It also kind of works as your Oki tool and safe jump sometimes.
Mhm. And we'll get to that.
Uh,
So
yeah.
that's something to keep in mind, just like contesting that airspace as part of like covering an Asterius button. So JB, J2B both really good for that. Uh, let's see what else. Going back to 8C, common. It's common to combine 8C with like 5B, so like 5B 8C, kind of covers ground and air. Again the air startup's a little bit longer, but if you're trying to block off passages, that's a common combo. Let's go and talk about 2C as well. So 2C, right, homes in on the opponent. Big hit if you get it as a starter. But also like the opponent knows how to deal with it, right? So it's like take that Narukami recording again. Like so he dodged it, right? So same kind of thing. Like if they see the 2C coming, it usually will force some sort of defensive move out of them. Another response you could see is like someone might do something like that if you're an Narukami. So if I do 2C, right, boom, he hits it serious. So you have to depending on what they do, you can kind of respond to that. So in that case, I might do like run up and 2B them, right, if they're trying to tag the 2C by dodging it. Or some people might just run at you during a 2C, so.
When they run to me, I actually like doing sweep.
Yeah.
Like whatever I have 8C out, I'll could throw out a sweep to contest people.
Right. Sweep or sweep or 5B are good in those situations. Sweep advances forward a bit. I'll switch to Killer Kitties. Let him show that actually. But sweep advances forward a bit, so you can catch up on the run up.
The reason that I like sweep is that if let's say I'm in this position where where's my record button? Let's say I'm in the position where like my opponent wants to like either like do that. I guess I should do this where my opponent is coming and they're trying to like tag me. The reason I like doing it is because you can confirm or you can like cancel it into the chain knuckle.
Yeah.
Like it like you can't do it on sweep, but on hit it hit or block, it cancels into the chain knuckle. So
yeah, and if you have the 25 meter, sweep into SB knuckle is actually a pretty good starter, and you get a lot of corner carry out of that too.
Also, the way I see it too is that even if I didn't have the meter, I could just knock them back for like for something. So
yeah.
Like, if like in that situation I'm pressing 8C, I could just knock them back. And sometimes you get like random combos like that.
Yeah.
But the way I see it is like it gives me time because Asterius is in that 8C mode. So he's doing 8C and I'm trying to get my opponent away so they're not going to be blocking or breaking the bull. See,
and I would say like in what he was saying in terms of like knocking the opponent away. I think it sort of depends on the matchup, but I would say in a lot of matchups like Shab can usually dictate the pace of neutral because of Asterius.
Yeah.
Asterius is very dominating presence in neutral. So if you revert back to neutral, it's usually better for Shab.
It's the bull is just so defining on so many matchups, especially against zoners. Against zoners, maybe knocking them away isn't the best thing because that's where they want to be. But if you can get them to like in a good spot,
yeah,
like if you can get a good hit, Shab has really good corner carry, even off like 25 meter, where you could just like run at people. So I think she wins a lot of neutral situations just by having a bull around.
Yeah, and as far as zoners, like zoners you want to be at that range, right? But Shab is an anti-zoner as well. Like the zoners of the cast, Shab does very well against. So yeah, Yukiko, Yukari, even like Minazuki show like the knives.
Yeah.
Like
also I think like her air dash makes so good. Because like something you'll notice is that like Shab actually has the longest air dash in the game.
Is it the longest or?
Yeah, it's the furthest moving air dash.
Huh.
It has like the highest velocity too.
I knew it was far. I didn't realize it was actually. I never actually thought about who had the longest.
It's Shab. I think Kanji is the worst and Shab is the best.
Yeah, I would think. I'm surprised. Like I feel like another contender would be Yukari, but yeah.
Well, it's because in the previous game, Shab's 5C used to be able to like combo off the ground slide, and the air dash needed to be really big.
Okay.
So like it worked for her combos. I mean, it still does, but her air dash is in fact the best, the longest one.
I did not know that actually. That's wild.
Backdash is like average.
Yeah. And that is kind of another thing. Like so, like something I'll do often. I'm gonna switch to my screen. Is like even like going off that situation that Killer K was describing, like say sweep into an A knuckle, right? So let's say you just like hit that. Like I was kind of set up D hammer a lot in that case because D hammer goes really really far. Like it, let me. Right, so if I'm at full screen, for example,
Oh, it's
right,
the ground
like
bounce. That's what's going on.
yeah, the ground bounce too. But like it goes all the way out to even past half screen a bit for D hammer.
It's a
C hammer
it's
goes not quite as
it's a
far.
it used to be a low too, which is crazy.
Yeah, in vanilla, it's not a low in this version though. But yeah, so like, so the ground bounce, you can actually combo off of it. So if I do like say that, so okay, instead of a D hammer, you can actually combo off the ground bounce like that. If you catch with usually a J2B is what you're gonna do. But you can also, if you're up close, if you happen to be up close, right, you can pick up with the 5A. And I think if you can you counter hit the ground? But you can, I believe, right?
No.
You can't counter.
Oh no,
Okay.
it can be counter hit, I think.
Okay, but you can actually pick up off the ground bounce. So keeping that in mind, because it will catch people out of like pre-jump a lot. So that's useful to keep in mind. Also, too, like going back to the Airdash, so let's say they block, right? So I hit like that. Like I can do something like that, right? Like if I have the hammer out, they're maybe if they're respecting, you can air dash. I'm not getting. There we go. And I'll do like a air turn J2B, and you can do a cross up that way, or you can just cross up with JB. Another cheeky trick too on the air dash is even just like if you JA into JB, the JB can actually cross up, so kind of naturally. So if I'm just holding back on Narukami here, and it's kind of it's a certain distance. Why is he doing a backstep? There we go. Okay. So it's a particular distance. There we go, like that. But that's another trick, and then you can like, if you get the right. That didn't actually combo, but it can combo. You can get
I know what you're
like
talking
the sweeps
about.
over. Yeah.
An easy way to set that up is just to have like close by. I think they
Here,
do
let me
need to be
switch
standing.
let me switch to yours real quick.
Okay. Just an easy way to do it is like, I'll just have them blocking everything.
Oh, look at that. There you go. Oh, wow. Yeah, there you go.
So like, there's a way to practice a block stun. If you you use the pillar to hide yourself, but yeah, you actually had to hit the other side.
Mm-hmm.
You can do cross up. You can do quite a lot of things off of this one.
Yeah.
It's just like having the dummy blocking everything, and like exploring like what possible options you can do.
Yeah. Are there any other? I guess.
Yes.
I'm just thinking about
something I wanted to point out is that while like the ground bounce does help, like the ground hit, there is a thing that happens where Narukami, or just like in general, if your opponent blocks it standing, they do block this, and it is pretty good for Shab. So like even if you're like, let's say you're running at your opponent, and then you could create a block string using that ground hit. He got hit there, but you can use like the ground bounce to continue your pressure, which is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. And I guess of course, like if you really want like free neutral, we talked about like the SB hammer bug, right? So there is that. So you have no meter, just SB hammer. Yeah, and you do it like again. This has counterplay. Like really, if people can run at you, and kind of dodgeable, But still, you know, it forces them to do that, right? You can play into that.
Yeah.
And I guess just
You get,
SB moves in general. Like if you're in a situation where you really want the neutral control, like any like you know, SB laser, SB hammer, those two in particular are like very just like it's hard to do anything against them. The opponent kind of has to like be really aggressive towards you and try to hit Shab, you know, or they just have to stall it out, you know, are
yeah.
kind of their main two options.
It's very good. I will say that there are a lot of times where you will do this, like whip throw and neutral to set up an SB move.
Yeah, let me switch to your screen.
It actually does really good because like one of the SB moves that you will see is this one, the SB bite. And what I really like about it is that when you whiff a throw, so like really close to your opponent, their reaction is to throw themselves, right? So when you, oops, wrong button. Whenever you throw, like they will throw themselves. So you can do things like it. There's a saying that what is it? Whiff throw is plus on in neutral or something like that. Yeah. So it's kind of like your opponent will see it and they'll try to like react themselves.
Yeah, I guess also, but I guess on that, because if you're like you can do that, if you're though like just trying to get out any SB move, especially if you're on the ground, throw does have quite a bit of recovery if you're like not wanting to be in throw animation like that. So you can do like similar to 8C, you can cover the startup with the 5A. You can cover it with a 2A. My usually go-to actually is JA. Like I'll jump back JA a lot for both versions, like for both moves. And you can even do this like, you know, say you do 2C. You can do it off of 2C. And in that case, I would do like 2A saying the SB bite. And you can do that, or same idea with air throw if you ever want to throw SB air throw. And if you're starting out, I wouldn't recommend air throw too much. But as you get used to it, you know, same kind of thing, covering it with the 2A. And then, because if you're down backing, you're charging, and you just shift,
Right.
you 8. And this is, again, and same thing in the corner. If you're in the corner, they back off for a sec, you know, just get the SB hammer out. That's like, you know, that's also a defensive option.
I like to do Rising JB to cover the SB moves.
Really, just
And
any move. Yeah.
Any move. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
Kind of
you don't even need
depending
a
on the
move.
situation, but
Yeah. Yeah. Just depends on like what's going on. You could also do backdash. Backdash covers a lot of your moves. It has recovery, so you can do SB moves with just backdash.
yeah. So SB moves are also very, really good, both on defense and in neutral. Yeah. Are there any other? I guess in just another sort of neutral thing. I sort of mentioned this in the last video, but I'll go ahead. I'll switch back to my screen. It's just like if you have Asterius, like if you're say you tap guard D, he's in the middle of the screen or something, and the opponent is trying to, you know, like you'll get a lot of people really want to hit Asterius and like, you know, kill the bull before they try to deal with Shab herself. So they'll just get really mashy onto Asterius. So if they're doing that, right, like, you know, you're like they're wanting to press buttons, you can just TV snipe them, TV punch snipe. It's kind of it can be risky. So you like if you're gonna do that, like really, like, you know, make sure you're, you know, very particular about the way you're doing it. But you can get you can catch people. Definitely doing that. And if you do SB punch, if you're close enough with an SB punch, you can actually get a combo off of the SB punch. D punch too, but SB. Yeah, if I have Asterius here. you can actually, my JB didn't come out, but you can actually get a combo from SB Punch like that, and it'll be short, but because SB Punch is basically a throw in terms of proration, so it'd have to be a short combo, but you can get a combo. So that's something also to keep in mind. Do you have any other neutral things you want to bring up, KillKitty?
The only thing I would also like to bring up is about JTB and JB, is that they can also be like, if you do it low enough, it has like the startup animation, and this happens in other games too. You can do the startup animation into something else, which is like
Yes.
okay to do.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you're using it as kind of like forcing your opponent to like jump high, and you like immediately go for a low, or you immediately go for a throw. It's really cool.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about let's get into pressure and block strings then. We're at the 40-minute mark here, so I think that's probably a good coverage of neutral,
Sweet.
at least just generally.
That was fast.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think a good thing that just everyone should try out is just having your opponent to block everything.
Yep. And
just see how you can continue your pressure. You wanna make it to where like what's gonna happen eventually. And like with Shab, her A button's a good starter. Like it's massive, like we said before, but you can also kind of like Gatling. And doing this is really important. Practicing 5A, 5C. And you can hold it, and you can like vary over the timing. I think just learning that is really important. Like when to use 5A, because you don't want to be doing like all this, and Asterius is just standing there. It's important to know like like this bull works in tandem with shares.
And
so you want to be like moves that will like lead into block stuns.
Yeah, 5C in particular is like a very.
It's a staple.
Yeah.
It's a staple of Shab pressure, right?
Yeah.
You want to be doing something like that into laser. I think this is a pretty good starter. Just doing like.
The other thing that to keep in mind with Shab pressure too is 5C has a ton of knockback, as you're seeing there. So like even if you're doing just block pressure, like you're getting corner carry by doing that, and if they keep blocking, you will eventually just push them to the corner, and now they're in the corner, having not gotten hit.
I think this block stun is a good example of that, because you like micro dash, but like you can see here, Narukami isn't being hit. So what does he do in this situation? Well, a lot of times, this also depends on how far away your bull is when you start the pressure. But like in this situation, Narukami a lot of times isn't going to move forward because he's scared of getting hit by the pillar. The pillar is an active hitbox, so that's something that's kind of like a deterrent. So mostly he's going to play defensive, and this is where, as Shab, you kind of like press the issue. Kind of like go for extended pressure, or like restart the block stun. I think restarting block stun too is good. Going like this, and like I said before, your opponent starts smashing, so like this can combo. And a lot of times you want to end in 5C. 5C is pretty good for Oki, good for pressure, good as like a like a repressure tool. It's very strong.
Yeah. I guess just going back to, I'll switch up my screen for a sec. You can do it from the auto combo. Have the block. Just auto combo. You can go the guillotine or the sweep. Same idea with like 5AA, 5B into sweep. And if you like, say you're doing, like if they're respecting, because like there is a gap here, like 5B to sweep or 5B guillotine does have a gap. 5B guillotine having a bigger gap. So that is a place they can DP if they're mashing DP in your strings. So keep that in mind. But either of those as a starter as well, is a really good starter. So if I just, if I demonstrate with like the guillotine, um, there we go. Now I'm not getting my JA to connect. There we go. That's good. That's like mid screen to corner, and a nice 3.2k. Sweep you can actually do a
Yeah,
little bit more off of.
I think
You can actually
you know
do a
Shab has
2C here.
good corner carry, but she also has really good mid-screen knockdowns too.
Yeah.
The main one, the main one being like the more difficult one, of course. But once you get the feel of it, it's actually pretty useful. There's a lot of times where like I said before, where Shab will get random hits. I don't know if you want to switch my screen.
Yep.
Like you'll get a lot of hits. Like let's say you get the 8C hit. No, it's really easy to confirm into just a basic hammer knockdown. This works. It has a different timing than the D version, but you will get this a lot.
Yeah.
Just stuff like that. Like you will get like random hits, and then like you can be on the other side of the screen, and you could still get like a full combo. Uh, it just like it happens.
Yeah.
Like one thing that putting your opponent in like random block stun, I think, right, can also help, like to help you like confirm. Like he didn't block there. No, Asterius kind of just like does things,
Oh yeah.
but it's pretty cool because like once you get like any hit, it could lead to like a corner situation. I messed up there, but her her mid screen isn't too bad. Like her mid screen is still solid.
Yeah.
But the main goal, in my opinion, is to move them to the corner.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. She snowballs pretty hard. When like if she can get the corner pressure going, it snowballs pretty quickly. And we'll go ahead and like let me switch over to the corner here. So like that same block string, right? So, be it either like 5AA. Let me have him just blocking. Like Autocombo 5C, or into 5B. Like if you hit that, like that, now they're stuck in block stun, and you still like you're keeping pressure, gapless pressure. So if I go like only for we said like this is a gap, right? 5B sweep is a gap. 5A, we said this is a frame trap, right? Let's just take 5B sweep. So if I do sweep 5C, right? And I should clarify, if you set your dummy to only first hit, this is the way to test for gapless strings, right? Because they'll keep blocking as long as there's no gap. Once they get hit, that means there's a gap in that string, right? So it's a good way to test like where your gaps are. So if you imagine I did 5AA, 5B, now the 5C is coming out, sweep. Oops, I didn't mean to get knuckle. Like that's and then there's a little bit gap before the laser comes out, but not everyone's gonna know that. So like you can then do a mix-up off of that, for example. So if I just do everything now, let's make the block switching random. So I'm gonna do. Okay, so he got hit there, right? Like you confirmed that. Okay, he's getting hit. I would like him to not get hit, because I want to demonstrate the mix-up. There we go. I wanted to jump. I'm getting some lag in the stream, but let's just do crouching. Here, let's do that. So you can do 5A, and you can do do a double overhead. And that's how you can that's like one way of getting mix off of your pressure strings.
I think it is important though to understand that to get these strings, you need a certain amount of respect from your opponent. So I don't know if you want to switch to my screen. Switch to my screen, and then I'll show you So getting respect from your opponent is really important, and because what will happen, like let's say I'm pressuring my opponent, and you will come across this all the time. So people that are like mashing or they're just like, I just want to play the game. This is my turn, so I'm gonna DP as much as I can.
Yeah, you
So how do
definitely
we
get
stop that? So it's very common. We can't. Shab just has the problem where her, her strings do have gaps in them,
Mhm.
and especially her extended strings. Right? This is an extended string. So what we want to do is take use of this two five or 5A nothing. And the reason we do that is because 5AA has pretty good recovery. It
Mhm.
doesn't linger. It's not one of the buttons that you would see you would get punished for. So I'm gonna do it again, and there you go. Block the DP, and you need to make the DP hurt. Uh,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what you like. It does matter like if you've like hurt your opponent for doing this. You need to teach them this is wrong. Once you start doing this, once you start baiting your opponent's DP, then they're gonna start giving you the respect that you deserve.
Mhm. I've got a question in the chat here. It's a good question actually. So Odu's asking, can you always force laser Oki, or do you sometimes have to settle for hammer? Sometimes you, like depending on the hit, you do just. I would say you do have to settle for hammer sometimes.
No, actually, that is not true. You can, but you can't. Okay, so like
It
there
depends
are
on the
times.
hit. It depends on the hit. Like,
No, no, no. A lot of times it doesn't, because what you could do is you could do, and this is kind of expensive though. But like, let's say Asterius isn't ready, you can actually spend the meter
oh
and just
yeah,
force the laser.
I
So
was thinking meterless, but yeah, if you're spending
yeah,
resources, then it's different. Um,
like in that situation, in this situation, you cannot 5C because you're using 8C, right? But so like if you wanted to, like right here, you would have to settle for a hammer. But if you really had the meter and if you really wanted to, oops, sorry. If you really wanted to, you can just cancel like this.
yeah, yeah, that
And
is something you can do.
yeah,
Definitely.
so yes, but it's expensive. And so like this even happens mid-screen. But a lot of times in the corner, you have a lot more opportunity to get the 5C because corner combos are a little better. And they're asking safe jump.
Yeah.
It should be fine.
Well, so that particular demonstration, he was like, in that case, like, in that situation, that's not that you can't safe jump off of that. So the immediate wake up situation there is sort of an RPS situation. Um,
Actually, it is, yeah. This is safe. Like doing
like
doing
it,
this will give you
yeah,
the frame advantage.
but you can't safe jump it.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
gives you frame advantage, and like the thing is, like your opponent, yes, can DP this, but again, like if you're blocking in their DP, because you have the frame advantage, so
Mhm. Yeah.
it's you're at the advantage state. So if your opponent wants to DP like a monster, they can, but once
Yeah.
again, you have to punish them for it.
Right.
And let's say the thing is like once your opponent gives you the respect, I'm gonna just do them like that. Let me set this up. So everything, I'm just gonna have him where he doesn't block for like a few seconds. See if I do this right. Yeah, we could set up
Yeah.
like really good. Okay, you want to 5A meaty them into
Mhm.
something else.
Yeah.
You get like 5A meaty like sweep, or if they know they're gonna block you, or you can do like this, like 5A 2B. This is of course your opponent will know that doing DP on wake up like that is not a very good option if you're like at frame advantage and you're like playing a defensive, because your opponent will get hit.
Mhm.
So a lot of times what they'll do is they could take the meaty, or they could also do like the grab OS,
Mhm.
which is why we want to do like this. So we like this keeps them locked down, and so after that, they're gonna want to try to like grab OS. So we do this, and this is the anti-air, which we can follow up. I I forgot how to set it up, but that's kind of what to know. Like that, if just to answer your question, yes, it is more expensive, but it is possible.
Yeah. I will say, something that's really great about Shab, like she doesn't really need meter to run her offense. Like meter enhances her offense, but she can run her offense without meter.
That's true.
So in that way, like you can be pretty liberal with spending your meter. Like I wouldn't like just waste it, right? But like if you're sitting on 25, 50 meter, you know, and like you're kind of in neutral, or you're kind of maybe you got a hit, you know, and like you want to confirm into better than hammer, like spend the SB guillotine. Um, like you're not really gonna lose anything for it. And just as a general tip, especially starting out, like you never like try like you want to use your resources, right? And like like also if it's burst, it's a little bit different because burst is really valuable. But your meter, right, it doesn't carry between rounds. Um, so if you or if you even if you lose or win the round, you're sitting at 100 bar. Like you could have used that for something, right? So use your meter. And again, like she builds it really quick. Like especially like literally, because every Asterius move builds a ton of meter. So let me just um, if I forget about the first hit bonus. Um, so like if I just do like even mid screen, right? Let's do something simple. Let's do this, right? So I was at 12. So I was at 12 meter. So subtract that off from the 54. That's what 42, right? So 42 meter from one combo, right? And that was a really simple combo. Like her combos build a ton of meter. So you usually, especially once you get into like the corner, you'll find that you're sitting on like a lot of meter, just kind of by playing her regularly. So yeah, feel free to spend that meter to set up the more intricate and stronger knockdown situations, right? Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, Shab does build a lot of meter. I will say the other way, just to like follow up on that. Yes, you could also do the reverse guillotine, which is a little advanced move, but it is also possible to like in some situations, if you don't want to spend the meter, you could also do like I'll do the same combo. You could do the reverse knockdown, which sets up the laser as well.
Yeah, and
that is an advanced technique, and it does take time to get used to.
Yeah,
but it is possible. Like laser Oki is never not an option. It just it. I mean,
yeah,
like, it's
yeah,
it's there.
Yeah.
It's there. It's expensive. It's there. But to answer your question, yes, you probably could.
Yeah,
most
like,
of the time.
And yeah, it's like, yeah, like if you really want it, there's a way to set it up. Most of the time,
Yeah.
depending on situations, sometimes you will just do like a hammer or something simple, right? But
I will say it might not always be the best decision, but it's there.
Yeah.
And to touch up on that, yes, you should be doing it in corner too. Corner laser Oki is probably the safer. A lot of people talk about Shab versus bite Oki, but really the laser Oki is probably worse. This is just an example of like the laser Oki.
Yeah.
This button acts like a safe jump, so if your opponent cannot. This also stops your opponent from jumping when done correctly.
Yeah.
So your opponent cannot jump. They have to block overhead, and they cannot DP because you end up right here.
Like that. Yeah, opponent. It is a safe jump. Like that is a true safe jump.
Yeah, it is a safe jump. Can't safe jump Kanji, Labrys, and Shabras kind of have auto guard, but that's the basic principle. This is a safe jump, and this is a really strong tool. You could set it up out of like even the most basic of combos, getting a 5A hit.
Yeah, for corner purposes, like yes, you usually want to do that. At least as like your baseline. There are variations once you get used to this basic setup.
But yeah, ending a combo like that, like 5C into laser, is very strong. You should be using it on most of the characters, because some characters just deal with the bite setup better than other characters. The bite setup, a lot of people say it's very. A lot of people know what it is. It's what made Shabras infamous in this game, right? Everyone knows about it, and the thing is, some characters just have a better job dealing with it than other characters. So if you're going against Mitsuru, for example, doing the bite setup is not the best option, because she has more tools to beat it. I think bite is something we talk about in a later time because there's so much to go over it.
Yeah.
But like as far as like in the corner, like getting any hits, like let's say you get like like this is normal. Like I'll show like on a block stun. Yeah, I'll show on a blocks. Oops.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good example. Yeah, yep.
Laser. I'll say like once you set up laser, it's really easy just to do like 5C laser.
Mhm.
And like let's say you want to set. Let's say you're setting it up from. Um, let's say you're setting it up from here, like where they block everything. You could do that. You could do it in block stun.
Yeah.
Mm. You
Um.
would just do like 5A like this, and you know your opponent will have to block it.
Yep. And another string I actually want to showcase here. I'm gonna switch to my screen. So Shab DP is actually a pressure tool. Um,
Yes.
because you can cover it with 5C. So like this right here. I'm gonna actually I'll demonstrate if I go only first hit. Yeah, and I want him blocking. Um, that is gapless, right? Sweep DP 5C is gapless, and then you can do the same thing, right? To laser.
It's because DP has a ton of hit stun as well, right?
Yeah. So like that's actually a very strong string, and it will also like kind of in random scenarios where if your opponent is mashing their own DP, or they're like if they guard cancel, even sometimes the DP will actually beat out like guard cancels. But this is really strong. And the nice thing about DP too is like if you're doing this, you can like something about Shab pressure too is like where you can be holding 4. Now careful with that because if you're doing like 4A, you actually can't do 5AA. Some characters that you can hold 4 and like get the 5A, multiple 5As. Shab can't do that, right? So you have to get the 5A out first. But if you look at my inputs, you see I'm holding 4, because then you can threaten the bites on in pressure, and that's kind of more advanced, but and we'll get to more specifics of bites down the line. But that's something to keep in mind, like where you can, if you get like something I'll hit too often is like like if I'm a bit of range,
Uh,
5B sweep, and I'm holding 1 into bite. So you can set up bite on block 2, and you have to have the range though, because bite has those dead zones. So if I'm too close, let's see. Let me
I think
if I do 5C, there you go. Like that is too close, and that won't hit, right? So you do have to have some range for it to work. But that will come it will come with experience, right? But that's also something to keep in mind. You can threaten bites on block, and it's not as tight as like true bite Oki. But it can be done, and if the opponent is pretty patient, more respectful, then you'll get those bites on block. But just going back, and like I bring that up because with the DP, it makes it easier to just hold that charge as well. So it's just something to keep in mind that so sweep DP into 5C, also a very strong string. So you can do something like this. And then jump into Airdash high or empty jump low kind of thing. Let's see. And then another let's actually also talk about 2C in block strings.
okay.
So a string that I've come to like a lot is because you can Gatling 5B into 2B. Now mind you, 5B, 2B is a gap, right? So if they're DPing, as Kid was saying earlier, establishing that respect, punishing the DP. But once you if you reach that point, you can do so you can actually do 2C in a block string once you're in the corner, and even mid screen. Something I've been doing, right? Like going back to like that meaty scenario. So if you let's do only first hit. So let's say you get like you don't opt for the you can. I've been doing something like
Are you trying to do a laser?
no, like 2C. Yeah, I've been doing something like 5A, jump, J2B 2C, and then you threaten that 2C, and then you can play off that, right? So yeah, things like that. And again, like, you know, they can do stuff in between that, right? But just the threat of the 2C coming out, you know, will force people to think. So mid screen is a little bit, it's not as tight, but this is quite right. And then 2C is the same way. You can then do laser. If 5B didn't come out, I'm getting like little like lag spikes from the stream, but
I think also like something I've noticed is that the fear of Asterius is definitely real. Like when you're fighting your opponent, something I've been doing is just mashing 5B, kind of like, you know, like telling my opponent to like press a button. You know, I would do something like
let me switch to
5A,
yours.
like hold it, just like, you know, mashing the 5B button. Yeah, I do like micro dash 5B.
Yeah.
I'll do like a,
yeah, holding 5C.
you know, kind of like telling my opponent like, you know, I want them to like do something,
yeah,
because that's when, you know, like this happens, or like nothing, and then my opponent's like, okay, well then I got a DP,
yeah.
because, you know,
And that's actually a good
Yeah.
point too with like the hold 5C. Like if I even go back to that DP string,
yeah,
like
I think the point I'm trying to say about 5C is simply that your opponent's gonna be scared of this, because this getting hit by 5C is never a good thing.
oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
especially in the corner, like if you're like,
yeah,
you know, like if you're threatening 5C, your opponent's used to like, you know, like the quick version, and staggering that pressure is like, you know, like telling your opponent like you can get hit by this, like you're gonna like force your opponent to think twice about pressing a button,
right. And
because
you can,
getting hit by Asterius is bad.
yeah, and you can actually frame trap with 5C that way.
Yeah, yeah, you could also like, there's a lot of things you can do. Asterius, and I mean Shab pressure in general is very good. There was, I think there was something. No.
I
Oh,
was,
something I will say.
Yep.
I did mention that, like, you know, like doing this, like the 5A. If you think your opponent, like, it's, yes, you can do like this, wait for your opponent, but a lot of times if your opponent isn't mashing, you can also do like, you know, like this. You know, just like repressure. I didn't mention this, but yeah, you can definitely do this.
yeah. And just going back to that 5C holding, if like I mentioned DP, so like if I'm doing, you know, this, like I can do that, right? Like, because the other thing about Shad DP is like people will see the DP and they think, oh, they DP in my face, right? You know, like if they're, you know, usually like if they're a little bit less experienced in the matchup, they'll see the DP in the face and think they can punish it. And that's where, you know, you can, you know, again, cover that with the 5C, and you can do a frame trap with that. You get a fatal starter. So that's a really good point about the holding a 5C. So 2B.
Yeah, it's really good whenever your opponent tries to punish you for using DP, and then Asterius just, you know, gets the punch anyway.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, if it's counter hit, it's fatal counter, and you could get a full combo
Yeah.
if you're fast enough.
Yeah, and especially in the corner, you know, they'll demonstrate.
Like playing this character is great because you'll get a lot of random hits. Those random hits will turn into really big damage combos, and you will get a lot of those. So
Yeah.
it is really great.
Yeah,
And it's
my
very
guillotine didn't come out,
satisfying.
but yeah, like a fatal 5C in the corner. Yeah, I'm getting like,
Your stream is lagging too.
yeah.
I'm
Oh,
actually like really far behind because of the stream lag.
okay.
Uh,
That was 4.3K. Cause I have it up on my. Like,
there's a bot in your chat.
Yeah, I see that.
You need to ban this person.
Uh,
We're not trying to buy subs here.
yeah.
We're trying to explain Shabs.
Yeah, I don't even know how to do that, honestly.
Click on their name and scroll down. You should see like a ban
Oh, look at that.
option.
Ban. There you go. Nice.
There we go.
Thank you.
we like robots, but we like we don't like them in our chats.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, and okay, something else too while we're on the pressure topic. You can also Titano in pressure. So it's, you know, usually off of like a blocked 5C. So literally you can do, yeah. And that might be like, you know, like what to do with the Titano pressure. Might be a little bit like for a later time, but just to introduce that, like 5C,
Yeah.
something
It's
like
really
that is common.
it works well mid screen because 5C pushes you back and has so much block stun that
Mhm.
if you instant cancel 5C to Titano, your opponent's stuck in block stun and they're being pushed away.
Yeah. Uh,
Like it's not it's not completely like feasible to think that like it could happen. Like you could do this. This is something that like she could do because why not?
yeah. And just if you're gonna do that, just keep in mind like, and this actually goes for Asterius, like in general, like if you're going like say 5C into super, because like in the corner a common ender, just do like, man, I'm not getting my, there you go. Is like into punch, like that's a common combo ender, right? You do have to keep in mind like you do need a slight delay. After the 5C, just because like you'll get like laser otherwise, especially if you're doing an SB punch. It's really easy to get.
Oh, there's something like really important
There you go,
that
like that.
there's something like really important that does happen that you should really practice. I need to talk about it.
Let me switch to your screen.
This happens specifically with SB punch because when you input SB punch, if you press what is it 236 and then you press the button too early, the game will think that Asterius wants to do an SB move instead of a super, and it will take the 25 meter plus the 75 meter away from you. This is something that happens. Yeah. It's something you do need to practice, or you will like spend meter like unnaturally, and you won't understand what's going on. Where's the?
Yeah, it's really yeah.
How do you put the SB gauge to not? How do you put the SB gauge to not recover? Regenerate.
I'm not sure.
Or
It's actually. I'm not sure it's actually an option.
Is that not an option? Oh, okay. I'll just do this.
Yeah.
Like I'll spend 75, but like if you do it, there are times where like
Well, it's like specifically off of 5C.
It is, right?
Yeah, like if you get the 5C.
Yeah.
It's like. There you go. Yeah.
So yeah, like there, I spent. So I only did the SB super, and I spent 100 meter. So I think like there's a way to correct it, or I don't know if like is there a way to do that?
Yeah, I've honestly like I sort of oh okay. I think if you get to wait a little bit longer.
You want to like you want to make sure that you do the movement all the way, because like if you instantly do it, which I'm like failing, but like if you like kind of like do it, you have to like practice it a bit. But default, yeah. If you practice it a bit, you will like save some meter. This does happen. This is unfortunately a glitch that happens, like a bad glitch, right? Labrys is a very buggy character.
Well, I will say like on that, like it to me it's like
the
because
between 100 and because it doesn't power up the super. That's the thing too.
Yeah.
Like you spend more meter for the same damage.
Yeah, I will say like I think it's a fair trade-off to getting the SB Hammer bug.
Yeah. We deserve it.
Yeah. But
it does happen. Just be aware, like in case you're ever wondering why I'm losing meter, that's exactly why.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other pressure things you want to talk about for now? I feel like we kind of did. I feel like we covered a good bit there.
I think that's good.
Yeah. Oh, I guess so. Let's actually do some BnBs now.
Oh yeah, finally some good stuff.
Yeah. So, I've got like I have like a doc that I've like written a bunch of stuff out. So I'll demonstrate a couple of like basic stuff to start with, and so let's see. I'm gonna switch to my screen. So, just Shab combo structure in general. So, at this point, you probably are already familiar with some of the basic stuff, right? So, like the sweep Gatling, either 2A 5B sweep or 5A 5B sweep. This is gonna be that's a just a key staple in a lot of combos, especially mid screen. And then usually you pair that with 5C, right? So 2A 5BC sweep 5C hits. So if you're just starting out, a simple kind of safe version you can do is gonna be 2A 5B sweep, 2B, and you have to catch it. You have to actually wait a second here. There you go. Into 214A, 8C, do a hammer knockdown. So I'll just do that with no narration real quick. My JB did not come out.
Yeah, that's kind of like the basic one.
Yeah.
You could also end that one into 5C punch.
Right. I'm just showing this to start
Yeah.
as just 101 BnB.
Yeah. On top of that, you could also do, like you said, like the. Oops. You could also, sorry.
Oh yeah,
you could spend for laser. You could also spend for bite. You could set up mid-screen bite, which is really good.
Yeah.
There are ways to get the 5C punch, so you get like a mid-screen combo.
Yeah. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate that. Yeah. So, the 2B is fine. I would say kind of day one jab type thing. If I had to pick a first combo to learn on Shadow Labrys, just someone picking up the game, this is the combo I'd recommend. If you look at my input, I'm doing the input and the game just doesn't want to give it to me.
I see it, but I don't.
It's very strange. But yeah, that's if I had to pick a first combo for Shadow Labrys to learn, that would be it.
Yeah. It's a good combo because it incorporates Asterius. You always want your combos. It's very rare that combos don't incorporate Asterius buttons.
Yeah. Now, as Kyokyo was mentioning, usually, for the most part, as soon as you can, learning, you want to be striving for those 5C enders, wherever you can. So, this is a little bit more, executionally intensive. But this is kind of the version you want to be going for. That's the version you usually want to be going for, of her sweet BnB. Because as you can see, I went basically almost corner to corner there. It's 80% of the screen. But there are some nuances to this. So one thing is the biggest thing with this combo is that you can't catch the J2B here too high. If I do it too soon, the 5A won't reach and it'll drop. So you'll have issues connecting that. So you have to wait a hair on the J2B there to catch that properly. I struggle to do that combo. Yeah, if the air I do the Airdash. But you can also do, if you don't like the Airdash, you can actually just do. I caught it really low there. It's kind of a Goldilocks zone. If you catch it too high, it's bad. If you catch it too low, it's also bad. But you can just do a dash jump into J2B, and that'll achieve a similar result. You get slightly less corner carry if you do the dash jump, but it's fine, really. The secret being where the J2B hits. Yep, yeah, it's the height of the J2B. So if I'll do it 3 different ways. So that's too high, right? If you see that, you've hit it too high, you're not gonna be able to connect the combo. I'm gonna do it too low. If I'm doing the air dash, if I'm doing the dash jump, I'm trying to demonstrate too low. I don't usually get it too low. Too low is that might be too low. Not really. Too low isn't usually an issue, but really you want it to be getting about there. That's about where you want to be getting it. So it's sort of a Goldilocks thing, not too high, not too low.
The way I do that combo is a little different. I do JA, but the reason mine is like kind of difficult to do is that you have to be like fairly low to the ground when you do it. It has to be kind of like a wait. Is that on my screen?
Yeah, I just switched to yours. Yep.
Okay. I'm so delayed on the stream. I was actually like a minute delayed. But like the way I do this combo is I do it like super delayed, but I use JA as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
The ender does work. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm getting destroyed. I'm not getting the ender, but like it's the same concept, except mine is like where the JA is like very low.
Yeah. I would say like in terms of like, do you use? There you go.
There it goes.
Do you use the JA or the JB or the JA J2B? Like I would say it's personal preference. I personally prefer without, like specifically for that. I prefer
I don't know if it's like less. I don't think it's less. I don't know if it's less damage or not. Probably because I'm prorating the combo, but like. The thing I like about it is that like I kept trying to do like the JB thing, and I struggle with it. I struggle with like the height difference. There is a kind of like an easier way to do it, which I don't know if you explained it.
The
like,
dash jump. Yeah.
Where you just do like the jump.
Yep. Does doing, if you're referring
then,
to
like,
the
I'm not used to doing like those combos because like I do like my own. But like there are ways to do it. I think you can also do like the hop.
Yeah, hop is an option.
Yeah, there are different ways to connect it.
Yeah.
I just I just have my own.
Yeah. I got Odalu is asking. So if doing
also,
that.
Another thing about this too is like the corner carry on this combo is like super unreal.
Right.
You can see I get them from like this camera because I'm not sure if it works like when you're in the corner because of the way the ground bounce works.
Yeah, I was. It's a little funky. Yeah, nice.
You get them like basically to like the car, which is like almost full screen.
Right. Real quick, just because I have a question about the JA J2B versus just the J2B. I think it's a personal preference thing. Honestly, I would say, like, try both. See which one you like. I personally prefer just the J2B. I find that one easier to do. But yeah, it can be. I think it's personal preference, honestly.
It is like I don't know. It's just like I've always done the timing like that because you know that just kind of how like I was like when the combo was originally being done. You know, like I was there. I was talking with other people about it, and we all had our own differences. That's why there are very many variations of this combo. Yeah. Like you don't have to air dash if you don't want to.
Right. Yeah. You could just dash jump.
You could do like that, which I know. Swamp Puppy, help me.
Here, I can. Switch to my.
Something. I don't know if you know like the combo, but like there are different ways to get the link. You don't have to do insane. It really is preference. I am bad execution wise apparently. But yeah, Swamp Puppy will help me.
Yeah. But what I will say though about the J and J2B, that is a good segue because if you're in situations where Asterius is in recovery, let's say I don't know, you D-hammer, and you get as the next kind of thing here, SB knuckle. So the same kind of thing, you can just do 2B, you know, into air string, into 8C, into hammer knockdown. You can do that, but you can actually do the same thing off of SB knuckle. But with SB knuckle, you actually need the JA. And now with SB knuckle, it's kind of tricky. This is actually like a little bit more difficult to do than just like the normal 5C. Because you actually, like as K was demonstrating, you actually do have to catch them low to get the full combo. So, you know, I'm gonna demonstrate. Let me do it like too high. So if I catch it, like that's too high. If I do that, I'm not gonna be able to continue combo. So I have to wait a second. So let's go here. That was okay. Yeah. So you kind of have to wait a second. But if you're doing it off of SB knuckle without Asterius, with the 5C, like you do need that JA J2B. There are kind of like if you go on the dust loop, there's a section about this as well. I believe the Dustloop mentioned something about actually slightly delaying the SB Knuckle. I personally don't do that. I just do SB Knuckle into like delayed air dash basically. Yeah, like I just delay the air dash slightly. I didn't get my thingy, but yeah, like that. Nah, I messed it up. There you go. Yeah, so that one's like is notably more difficult to do, not by a huge margin, but enough that you have to spend a little bit on it. So it like, you know, so you do have to get used to the heights, right, on both versions of that. This on the dock. I should, if you go in the pins of Shadow Labrys chat, I think one of the pins that's like it's like beginner combos and clips should have this combo on there. So yeah. Let's also let's talk about the auto combo. So you can combo the auto combo, right? Combo the auto combo, right? But you can mix in Asterius moves. So if you're mid-screen to corner, you can actually do 5C with it, and then you can air dash from there. So you can do 5C, air dash, and then you can get the corner that way. If it's kind of if you didn't get the 5C in time, you can actually do an 8C variant. So you can do 8C, and then you actually pick up with the JB, like JBJA. You actually end that with D hammer. 214D here. This one is a little bit finicky because you have to have the opponent a little bit above you. So I'll try to demonstrate this. Yeah, like that's gonna drop, right? See that? Like it's kind of a funky hit when that happens. Sometimes you get lucky and like they'll tech and they won't like hold block immediately and they'll just get hit by the hammer raw. But you have to kind of you need them a hair above you. The way I kind of think about it is like walking forward a hair before doing the airstream. Either just like a normal walk or a micro dash. I'm not getting my quarter circle, but there we go. Yeah, so that's another variant you can do. That actually ends up being quite useful a lot of times if you're getting, especially if you get like far range 5As, like like near max range 5As, like you can combo into that. If it's like max range, maybe not, but like that is whiffing. But this ends up being really handy. So that's another one I recommend. And then also,
there was something to note about the auto combo specific. There are a lot of times where you'll get let's say Asterius is busy and Asterius isn't going to be able to assist you with auto combo. The way you continue the combo without Asterius is just doing the short hop.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we can do that next.
This is also very important to hold 5D. Like let's say Asterius just does a hammer.
Let me switch to your
screen.
You
get a hit here.
Real quick.
What do? So you do the short hop. So you can extend, like it doesn't have to be Asterius, but like Shab can extend the combo enough to where she can continue it herself.
Yeah, then that's also like a staple that you're gonna want.
But you want to like hold the D button while you do this. So.
Yeah, you have to hold D. Yes.
You have to hold. You can't press it because if you press it, what happens?
Yeah.
What happens is Asterius is too back, and he won't teleport.
So
you have to hold it. You have to hold it for like a second.
Yeah. Or you get because you also just get 2C from the hop input. Is the other thing.
Yeah. Which is also not good because he won't recover in time. Oops. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So what you want to do is you want to do 5D hop.
Yep.
And this is kind of the timing. It looks very like slow, but because you don't want to like we said before, you don't want to press all buttons at the same time. Because this does happen too. where like if you press the buttons like the 5D as well as the roll, you'll get burst. So this does happen sometimes. With the inexperienced players, is that they'll get burst. I'm not getting it, but yeah, this does
Yeah.
happen. But really,
Yeah.
what you want is this.
Yeah. Another important note on that is to not mash the J2B. Because
Yes, this
yeah,
is very
like
important.
you might like I kind of that took me some time to get. Like this actually took me a little while to get down. Um, so if you look at like me, I kind of like if if I know Asterius is in
I'll be
cooldown,
right back.
sure. Um, I'll hold D for a while actually before the 5AA comes out. Uh, so if you look at like I'm holding D for a while there, but if you look at those last two inputs, like the hop, so like yeah, so I don't know if you can see the cursor. I'm not sure if it pops up, but the second to last input there is like what BCD or sorry ACD. So that's while I'm holding D into the short hop. That's that, and then I'm just tapping the J2B once. I would say this is like just you kind of have to just spend some time with it, but you'll find like it becomes muscle memory, um, and you kind of find that sweet spot timing to hit this, and it becomes consistent. But don't mash it, right? Mashing it, when I was first starting out, like you can sometimes get it, but it's inconsistent. I would say I am hitting it, but I would say like learn the timing for it, like specifically. Yeah, because it will serve you better in the long run. So that's a really important one. Um, Other things you can do from the auto combo. If you happen to be persona broken, this is kind of useful one to buy time. Um, I do this a lot, so if I'm persona broken, I'll do this into one more cancel. You know, like just to help buy time. You can, if you have extra meter to burn still, you can do it into an SB Guillotine. So, you know, and again, if you're persona broken, there's not a whole lot you can do. But that kind of goes back to like, you know, Shab can spend her meter pretty liberally. So if it's buying you time to get Asterius back, to me, like that's worth doing. And you'll even end up in situations where like if you do, you know,
I'm back.
welcome back. If you do this, why like my buttons are not coming out. There you go.
Are you talking about? What are you talking about now?
I was just throwing like one more cancel extender for persona broken. If you're persona
Oh,
broken, yeah.
I really like doing because like the short hop button can be like hollowed up, right? I
Yeah,
really like doing like if you get like a 5A, just doing like the short hop into like once they hit the ground, yeah, you get the OMC.
yeah. The SB
I
guillotine does
also
actually connect there, but
I also like doing like the air bounce, like the ground bounce. I just like letting it do like go meterless because what happens is your opponent will back tech, right?
yeah,
And for like personalist combos, I like to do like an anti-air, a 2B
yeah,
anti-air, or I like to do IAD air grab.
yeah,
It's kind of like if they tech neutral into the ground, then you're kind of away from them, and if they throw tech you anyway, you still break and you can still like back up a little.
yeah. Um, yeah, it's like the IAD air grab is like yeah, it's kind of like it's a little gimmicky, right?
It's
Like
a gimmick.
yeah,
It's a gimmick.
it'll catch people, you know, here and there, but I
Yeah.
think the 2B is like the 2B. Yeah, it's like I mean, personalist combo you're not gonna do a whole lot, but I just wanted to throw it in there just to
Yeah.
show you know
You want to
you can't do that.
you want to you want to stall time. That's basically what you want to do with these combos.
Yeah. Um,
And Shab can do that. Shab is like really good at like like stalling,
yeah.
but her combos are you won't get much without Asterius.
Yeah. Another thing you can do as well. I need to do this more myself. Like I always like I do it in training and like I know about it. I never actually end up doing a match. But you can actually do um, SB guillotine in this. So like you can do it into 2C, into 4B,
Oh right.
and then you can do either hammer knockdown or you can actually do 5C from there. this is kind of advanced, but like something to just put on the radar for now is like doing 5C from JA. So like if you watch my inputs, it's actually rad. Like this took me a while to get down.
Yeah.
But like
you wanna the term is called pianoing. You want to piano your buttons, kind of like it looks like it's doing both at the same time, but like if you were to press both at the same time,
you get
you
air
get roll.
turn. Yeah.
Yeah, you get air turn or you get roll. So even on the ground, what you want to do is you want to like 5A and C. Like you could hold 5A and press the C button at the same time. But what you want to do is you never want to do it at the same time. You want to do it like right next to each other.
Yeah. Yeah, and that goes for air string. So like if you're doing this, starting out, like, you can just do hammer, that's fine. Because if you try to do like, because the problem is like if you try to do JB, like I think the combo is too prorated by that point. So you have to do, yeah, I lagged. There we go. Like that's how you get a 5C ender from that, right? So that's trickier to do, but you can just do hammer if you're still getting used to that. It's still good damage. And then one more thing I'll show for now from the auto combo is actually just SB Punch. This is kind of like somewhat meter inefficient, but it's also like brainless. Like you're just like, oh, I have meter. I wanna get a knockdown here. Like just literally just send SB Punch. And then you can do 2B into JB. I did the 5A, like the JA 5C thing there, but you can just do it during the JB. So if I SB Punch, you can do it during the JB, and that's easier, right? So it's kind of meter inefficient, right? It's like there's what 2.8k there, but it's like I think it ends up being worth it just because like if you get her knockdown going, right? Like then again, she's not meter reliant to run her offense, right? Like it enhances it, but she doesn't need it. So yeah, I would say like that's the last thing I have written down for auto combos. Let's talk about a punish combo.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, how do you DP punish? So I'll show kind of basically your go-to. It depends on like the exact like speed or amount of time you have, but if you can get 2B is really good. I'll show like a simple one for now. So let's do just counter hit, right? So Narukami DP'd, say. Okay. Just trying to replicate a scenario. So let's just do like basic.
I can do it if you want. It's
right,
just doing like a.
Yeah. Or I'll just So I would say let's. Starting out, I would just starting out, I would default to 5B. Really, it can be 5A, 5B, or 2B. Are like gonna be like, and then I would say are your like go-to. So 5A, 5A 2B, 5B 2B, or just 2B. But the 2B, like to get the most out of it, is a bit of a more difficult combo. But the one I like a go-to for me is this. That's a go-to for me. Just consistent, easy to do. The super jump I think is also another thing of personal preference. You can do JB. I personally don't do. It's a little bit more damage. I just personally, I usually like my personal combo philosophy is just like do what is a good balance of optimal and consistent. Like the combo you can do consistently is better, right, than like the super optimal that you might be dropping more often. Um, so whatever's more consistent for you, do that. Um, I don't like worrying about because I find it really easy to get JBB in doing this. Like even if I'm not, mashing it, I find it easy to get JBB on accident. And I don't want that to happen. So I just do a super jump, and I just find that easier. But you can do the JB and it's fine. Um,
Uh, a lot of times you want to do these combos because, yes, these will be bots. So
yeah,
if
yeah.
you missed any of the like the earlier chats, these will be on YouTube.
Yep.
But going back to that, yeah, a lot of times you would want to do these punishes because, certain characters have like shorter recovery than your big punish.
Right.
Your big punish button is gonna be your 2B.
Yep.
This is like the main like her main punish, her big punish button where you get 4K off of, and like I had the Narukami, so like off of block DP, I messed up.
Yeah. That's like the
Oh, no.
yeah. Sometimes it does
Oh,
that.
wow.
It's weird. It does that sometimes. I don't know why. Cut it high.
Oh, now I'm too close.
Yeah.
Too close, but let me see if I can get it. Third time's the charm.
There you go. Yeah, like that's optimal.
This is like, yeah, this is like the optimal one. But like if your opponent recovers like a little faster for whatever reason, or like let's say this example, like Narukami has meter, and you block the DP, right? You can't run under and do this because I have it on counter hit, but like the reason you can't do that is because he'll super cancel, right? So you'll run under him.
Yeah, and then, yeah. So sometimes you want the faster button.
Yeah, you want, yeah. So sometimes like the faster button is like better than eating like a DP super, right? Something where like you can't.
Yeah. Or just like certain DPs too, right? What comes to mind? Mitsuru DP is actually a good example because you can catch her with a 5A before she lands, and it denies that super cancel.
Yeah, there. Some characters just have better recovery. I think a good example is Ken.
Mm-hmm.
Ken is a character that you punish his DP very different, depending on if he has meter or not. And the reason is because when he lands, that's when he can use all his supers. So, but he shoots up in the air. So, I think you can also do it on Narukami if he just like completely whiffs.
Yeah. But
Yeah, you could do it on Narukami if he completely whiffs. You can.
yeah, JTB punish.
It's the same idea. It's just like we want to be safe about it.
Yeah. And I guess
So,
just like the 2C extenders are ideal. But if you're not comfortable with the 2C extender starting out, like you can just do 8C into hammer, right, is fine. So you can just do see, I got the JVB there, but I'll do JVB or JB. Like if you're new to Shabers, like that combo is fine. That's still 3.2k. It's still a fine punish. But I would say like striving for that 2C extender is huge. You can actually end with a super mid screen off of that too. Is the cool thing about that. So that's 4.2k. That was off of 5B. So yeah, so I would say like that's you go to the 5A 2B. 5B 2B. Or as Kelly mentioned. Yeah, I got the same thing. Weird. Yeah, I don't know why it does that. It's got a mind of its own. But yeah, so that's a go-to punish. Let's do an anti-air. How do you anti-air people? 2B anti-air. So there's a couple ways of doing this. I think there's also some kind of preference into this. Lately, this is a bit more difficult to do. Lately, I've actually been doing this combo as an anti-air. So just jumping. I've been doing this. And you get a lot of corner carry, and it's good damage. Um, and if you hit it mid-screen, you can also do. You can do a JBB, get a little bit more. If you have the height right too, you can even do 2 JBBs. Didn't
Actually,
quite.
there was also a combo that you did that involved laser. Do you still remember that one?
From 2B?
Yes.
I mean, you can I never actually do it, but you can do like.
You can, yeah. Like, there's like a more optimal thing that we just don't do. but it is possible.
Is it actually more optimal?
I don't know, but I think the fatal counter is, or not, the 2B punish is, right?
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, I guess I can show. God, I haven't done it in a while. I don't actually do it. It's just kind of like a cool combo.
It's actually Swamp Puppy's combo too.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna do it.
But you could do it as an anti-air, like a non-counter hit anti-air, or you could do it as a 2B punish, and it actually does work.
Yeah. He's talking. I showed at one point in the chat. Something like that. Yeah, I never actually do it, but you can combo into laser.
I think you're supposed to do the B version of Air Guillotine.
That might be it. Yeah.
But like you could also do like the non-counter hit anti-air button.
Yeah.
Which that one uses meter. So and that one is very difficult to do because you have to do a, I think it's D laser while doing backdash. It's like SB Hammer. It's very obscure. It's really cool.
I'm actually not. I'm gonna switch yours. I'm actually not picturing what you're talking about right now.
Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can.
It's on your screen. Oh. Okay, I think I remember what you're talking about now. Yeah, I remember what you're talking about now.
Oh, you have to do SB, right?
Yeah, okay. I remember this now, yes.
There's something like that.
It was into D-laser, yeah. But...
It is, right?
Yeah.
And then you do like run up or something.
Right, oh, I switched off your screen for a sec. My bad.
That was close, but
yeah.
But like it's there. Like the combo potential is there. Shab has like really high combo potential.
Yeah. I would say I don't generally like. Again, if you're starting out, like I don't. Like it's harder to do.
It's an advanced technique for sure, but like.
Yeah. I honestly like even like in practice like. As far as like for anti-air purposes, like I'm not really I'm not usually comboing with the laser, right? Sometimes it'll happen like on accident, if anything. But usually I'm comboing for anti-air. I'm gonna switch to my screen again here. Like I'll do one of 3 things usually. Because the thing about Shab 2B is like it hits kind of high, right? And it also will hit like. If you're right under them, it'll hit like behind, like that. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll 2B and I'll react with like a super jump into off. So like a simple one I'll do, right? It's just like super jump into JA, guillotine into 8C. I'll end up doing that a lot if if it's like a reactionary, like I'm not sure it's gonna hit or it's like a really high hit, like that, you know. Like I'll end up doing that a lot into just like your hammer knockdown, right? So like something like this. Now like it's suboptimal, but it gets you the knockdown, right? If I'm more like if I'm looking at it and I see that they're like jumping more predictably at me, that's where I'll do like that 5C one I showed earlier, or you can actually do it into 2C. You can do that. That's also good damage. So, and those are like really the main 3 things I would do. So starting out, like you can get a feel for something like this, JA or JB. The thing to keep in mind about it is like if you catch it really high, like JA or JB into 214A is gonna whiff, right? Like I'm trying to, yeah. like that will whiff if you catch it really high, which is why I'll do that, because that will catch even at those really wonky heights. So it's something you'll get used to, but again, starting out, you can do that. And if you're more comfortable, or you're starting to recognize like the heights, you can do like into 2C, 214B, or 5C with the corner carry. So yeah, I would say that's mostly for anti-airs. And I guess one more thing about that, I mentioned this in the last VOD, but just keep in mind, like JA, or like aerial guillotine A versus aerial guillotine B. Like there's a height difference of where like one or the other will hit, right? See, like J214A hit there from the JB, but if I try to replicate that, 214B hit, but if I'm too high, like that, it did still hit. But, or like that even, right? Like neither of them will hit, but you just have to keep that in mind, right? 214A is just generally the more consistent one, but again, if you are seeing the spacing right, 214B is more damage, of course, right? So just to keep that in mind, that's really important. Okay, so we're almost at the 2-hour mark. Any other? I would say that's a pretty good handful of BnBs. Like sweep Gatling stuff, Autocombo stuff, punish, anti-airs. Yeah, so honestly, like what we've got, we're at an hour 50, Killer Kitty. We could introduce like we've showed it a lot just like in talking about things, but we can like just specifically focus on like routing into Oki and like what to do post like in the Oki, right? How to actually run the Oki for a little bit.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll start with just hammer. So let's do, so like if you're just doing hammer, right? Like starting basic, we'll do like, we'll kind of introduce some of this stuff and probably end it there since we're almost at the 2-hour mark. So let's just take something simple, right? Something 8C into hammer. Your basic thing is to safe jump, right? You can always just safe jump it, safe jump JB. You can safe jump J2B as well. Actually, I have a recording always for mashing DP on wake up. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Alright, safe jump. You can do a J2B safe jump. For mid-screen purposes, I'll usually do JB after hammer, at least. For hammer purposes, I'll do JB. I think JB is a little bit tighter to get a safe jump with, I'll say. Like, certain characters, Rise comes to mind. Their DPs are actually hard to safe jump. So, like, I find that JB is a bit tighter sometimes than J2B, but J2B is still fine, right? And J2B is the better starter. So there's a safe jump. If you now if you're getting them to, if they're respecting, and they're not DPing on wake up, like then you can start to do like a little bit of mix-ups with it. You can do, you can just do empty jump low, into like SB knuckle. You went over that combo earlier. You can do even like something I would do a lot is like back dash J2B. I messed it up there, but like that. You gotta do like a double cross up almost, or a fake cross up into a cross up. J2B is really, in general, right? J2B is really good for that. Like just these like left rights. J2B is a great button for left rights. So it's something that you can always incorporate. So you can do that. Or you can just like, right, just meaty 5A, right? And depending on, I messed up the meaty, but depending on if they're, what they're doing, how they're responding to your Oki, right? And then a fun thing you can do with hammer as well, is if you time, it's like a note I should make about like these hammer knockdowns. You want to time the hammer to be as delayed as possible after the 2B, or after, excuse me, after the B guillotine, because that's how you get more frame advantage. And if you do it with enough advantage, you can actually run under and like hop back over, and again kind of have that left-right mix up into there. You can also just on the left-rights, you can also just do a simple crossover that way. Right, so mix in the left-rights with the safe jumps off of the hammer here. Yeah, so whether you do the run under, something like that, or just a simple cross-up. No, I didn't mean the Airdash, but you get the idea. Or again, like with the J2B, fake cross-up. Yeah, so those are kind of some of the things you can do off of Hammer Oki. So Hammer Oki is your most like limited one, but it's still, you know, it's still good, right? Like you can still work with it. Anything you want to add to the Kill Kitty?
One thing I like to do on Hammer Oki is this comes with like the level of respect that you know you eventually get. I like to do like the air cross up like after post knockdown. So like I will do like this.
Yeah.
And you know just get like the same side knockdown, or and better on this side. Or I was meaning to do it like this, but like you know once you land, just go like that.
Yeah.
For a nice, you know, like a nice mix up. So like when you land, just go for like a cross up. Or another thing that this happens too, using the C version, you know, they kind of recover a little faster. So just go for a nice like cheeky throw.
Yeah.
Or like you know, like you could also do like a frame kill, like 2A.
Into throw, yeah.
You know, into throw. Like this works really well whenever your opponent's like really low health, because like in this situation you can just cancel into super and it's guaranteed. So just some things you can do like 5C. I mean the C version of Hammer has its uses too. The D version is really good.
Or well on 18 knockdown, usually I would say you're wanting the C version there.
Yeah. I also like doing like, you know, you could fake the safe jump and
yeah,
you know, go for empty low, which is very common.
Yeah.
You know, your opponent is expecting this and you show them this.
Yep.
So really cool.
Yeah.
It works really well. It's like mid screen wise, this is actually pretty good. It also like pretty good in corner. You know, in corner you can also do like the hammer as a way to like force your opponent to block, but that doesn't give you as much Oki as laser.
Yeah. So let's talk about laser. I'm gonna switch to my screen.
Okay.
So, you know, we've shown like the BnB, right? So, and also note about like if I'm going back to the BnB for earlier, if you reach the corner, right? Do JVB here. You can even actually, depending on the height, you can maybe fit in two. I'll just do one for now for consistency's sake. So my 5C. You have to kind of be mindful of Asterius teleporting. So that's kind of like a nuanced note for Shab combos. Like, you know, just realizing like, hey, like, you know, Asterius is still like in the back of your mind. He's off screen, but he's still recovering from 5C. So you have to just like keep that in mind for timing when you press 5C, right? I'm kind of dropping. I'm not talking and playing, but so yeah. But usually something, you know, JBB, JB, or you know, however many JBBs you can fit into jump 5C, B guillotine, timing the 5C ender, and then setting up that laser knockdown, right? And then, right, you do. Let's do, we'll do 21st hit, it's fine. And then you know, and usually, so you want like in the corner. Usually, you'll be doing J2B for the safe jump, and you want to space it out because this has a really big horizontal hitbox, right? So if you're a little further away, it's it makes it safer, and the timing of it is important because it's easy. I'll just do, just do it here. It's easy to do it too early, like that. Right. So you want you kind of gotta wait a sec on it because you want it to actually hit them, right? It didn't come out. That was weird. But you want to actually hit them in the event that they try to jump out, right? So just kind of practice that, get used to that timing, and again, you set a dummy to mashing DP on wake up, right? And then you can also check it with jump, and then roll too, right? You want to check it with roll. You set a dummy to roll on wake up. Let's see, let's do. I need to do. Let's do.
What are you trying to do?
I just want to have him roll on wake up. Let's see. Yep, wrong thing. There we go. Just to show that it should catch. Okay. There you go. Yeah. So that's why you want to just get that timing down for the J2B safe jump.
It also prevents your opponent from jumping.
Yeah, jumping and rolling. Yeah.
Jumping, rolling. They usually have to, if they tech it correctly, they have to do. They have to block it. It's just not optional.
Yeah. And then, so if they're respecting that, then running the mix from there. So you'll do. Let's just have. Let's see, blocking everything. We'll do disabled. So I'll just do this again. Okay. You can also do this little run, like run forward and dash to help time it. You'll see that too. I'll demonstrate it again. That helps like time it a bit. Yeah, you do a little micro dash into the corner, and then back jump. But so once that's there, like you have all that time, right, for the mix-up. Because they're locked down with the laser. You can go air dash high into the JA J2B. Or, right, of course, just empty jump low. You can do either 2A. I like this combo. I know I caught it too high. There we go.
This is why I use DP.
I like this because you can combo. You can set up the bite.
You can still set up the bite off the combo I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think like it's a little bit tighter. I'll switch to yours for a sec.
Okay. I like usually set up like this. Oops.
Yeah. Yeah. The 5B won't work off of 2A.
Wait, what was I doing? Oh,
the DP low from the low. Yeah, so you can do that too. I think that's also kind of like, I mean, the DP variant does a little bit more damage. I like the kind of the flexibility of the knuckle version personally.
The thing I like about this combo too is that this happens very rarely, but DP can actually auto guard through burst somehow.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
And I don't know, it only happens when you're doing like 8C DP, but I think it's because like the burst will clash with the the flames of this, and the auto guard will like stop the burst.
Yeah.
Like the first special hit of burst will be clashing with the flames, and then the auto guard will protect you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird interaction, but it does in fact happen.
Yeah.
And then
And going back for a sec, I guess I'll show the Airdash. So let's do. I think I have recording for this. Let's see.
Just
Yeah, that's
make them crouching.
Yeah, well, because I wanted to just
Alright.
block the save time, so we'll do. Okay, so I do, like, this is, you can do that. Now you have to be careful again with the guillotine height. I was thinking 2 for A there. I'll just go, so you understand the setup, I'll just do this. Crouching, disabled. So there's this version. Just be mindful of guillotine heights again. So in that case, right, like, I caught it a little low. But then there's the optimal variant. This is a bit more advanced, but yeah, I caught it high. Yeah, I'm doing the optimal. See, now that's, yeah, okay, so I flew over. There we go. My 5B didn't come out. Come on. There we go. Yeah, so that's optimal. Off of that. Now that it's a little bit trickier to do, but if just 5B 2B starting out will be, you know, a little bit more straightforward. You still get a nice 3.7k off of that. And then an alternative for the low is to do sweep. So you just have the laser, and you're doing things. You can do sweep into SB knuckle if you have some meter. This hits from a while ago, or a while away. Sweep SB knuckle. You can do actually off of this. You can do the same idea with 5B. Like, I like that, and that's a nice 4.1k. That's a bit more advanced. You can also just do something simple. I'll do this sometimes if I want to keep the combo a bit shorter, maybe because of burst. That's still a nice 3.5k. And you can still 2C extend that, right? And I'm doing a thing here. You can...
Wait, what combo are you? What combo are you doing off? That's the low, right?
Yeah, I'm doing different versions of the sweep SB knuckle.
If you do after the J2B, you can do like another JB sequence for 4K.
Yeah, or
you can do
let me do that again.
It's like slightly like, you know, you squeeze out another 60 damage, but you know it's there.
Okay, yeah. Right, there you go. Yeah. I was thinking because I have the other one that I was doing, but yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you could squeeze out 4K on like if they get hit by the mix up, the high or the low is 4K damage.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think.
And then you actually also can combo. I don't actually really do this, but just to say it as an option, you can combo from sweep meterless, from that same like knuckle into 8C concept from earlier. So you can do, and you can combo into sweep meterless that way, and it's still a nice 3.2. I don't usually do that.
The reason we don't do the combo like that is because during that, like, you would need Asterius to not be busy, and when you're running the laser Oki, Asterius is busy, so you would have to delay the sweep, which kind of becomes a little telegraphed. So unfortunately, like, while it's a great combo and a great mix-up in theory, in practice it doesn't always work. In practice, Asterius is busy with the laser, and unfortunately, like, it's there as an option, but it's not the best option half the time.
Yeah. Now something important to note. Like, let's talk about some, like, a little bit. Let's talk some.
Before that, there is another one that you didn't. This one also gets like overlooked. You didn't describe whenever your opponent gets hit by the J2B.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Good point. Here, I'll show. Yeah.
I can.
Here, yeah.
If you want to do it.
Yeah. Or I'll switch yours. Yeah.
So yeah, what happens when your opponent doesn't block or they get hit jumping and
Yeah. Yeah, that same sweet B knuckle. There you go. Yep. Same
Yeah.
thing.
We go into the same situation. You just take the damage. But if your opponent does get hit by this, then you wanna practice like just set up laser, get hit.
Yeah, 5B
I'll
sweep,
show it again.
B knuckle.
Because of proration, the laser does a lot of like hits. So we actually, if we've tried to extend it, and unless it's counter hit, it's really hard to extend. So we just go for like the guaranteed.
Yeah, or yeah, there's not too much more you can do off of that. I'll show another niche case too that can happen. So I'm gonna switch back to mine. So, because we've also been showing right the frame kill JB for the Airdash timing. But like sometimes what will happen is like if you're a little autopilot-y with it, you'll get like and they don't block, right? Like if the JB hits, you actually have to modify the combo a little bit, and like this is kind of an awareness thing that will build up over time. There you
It
go.
does happen, yes.
But now I have to modify the combo to that. Like if you play that back when the VOD is there, like you'll see that the JB actually hit. So if you try doing the same combo that Killer Kitty just showed, it actually will drop. So I pick up with a JA after the B knuckle instead of a 5B 2B.
Yeah. And it's good damage. It's really good
Oh
damage.
yeah, it's still it's the same, and you get the same situation. You get into the same combo off of it, or the same like Oki laser off of it. But yeah, just and that's again that's a like there's a bit of awareness that goes into that. You'll kind of get used to that. So in time, right? But just to showcase that. Let's talk about some of the counterplay to laser. And then I think we can end it there because we're past the 2-hour mark now.
Oh yeah, we should also like briefly talk about the counterplay to the laser.
Yeah.
Or the counterplay to the counterplay. So this is kind of like a rock paper scissors.
I'll switch to yours.
There is a thing that happens. Your opponent will delay tech. I don't know how to set it up specifically.
Yeah.
Is there a way to can you set it up? Do you know?
It's honestly even a bit easier. Like if you swap the roles, like you have Shadow Labrys be the dummy, and you be.
I know that's true, right? Narcomi.
Yeah.
I'll do that quick, yeah, because it is kind of like a.
It is important.
Yeah.
To know what to do against it. Say we're just swapping dummies to make this easier to show, but a common, I'll verbalize while he's loading back in. So a common counter to laser is delay tech roll. You'll see people do. And so you have to know what to do to call them out on that, right?
Yeah. So there is counter to that, but this is the counter to like that specifically.
He's just recording.
Okay, I have it recorded.
Yeah.
This is it.
So he's showing.
So like like obviously like.
There you go. Yep.
So this is the counter, but the thing about this specifically is the positioning of Shabras, where she is. So you can't do it on normal. I forgot. Sorry.
Wait, what was it?
Hold on. So the positioning here, this is what you want. When you're, you fall behind Shab, so what do? There is counterplay to this, and it is to not do. It is to not do this.
Yeah.
When you jump back, and your opponent has delay tech, damn. I'm gonna show like if the roles were switched and your opponent does the delay tech, hitting them gives you a counter hit.
Mm-hmm.
So even on a 5A, you can punish their roll, or you can throw them.
Yeah.
Throwing isn't the best option. What we want to do is when your opponent rolls, and now the problem is that like I want to do it to where like I show the punish, right?
Right. I can.
Like,
let me see if I can get a dummy recording while you're doing that.
So since we're right here, right, your opponent rolls, you get the counter hit. So from here, you can actually put them back in situation. Like, let's say your opponent has rolled, you get the counter hit. You want counter hit 5A, because that's like that's the button you're gonna punch with.
See if that works.
And that's the combo that you put them back into, right? If they roll, you want to, like, when you're running to them, you want to space out to, like, this space here covers the roll. So if you see your opponent roll, you want to, like, walk back just a tad bit, and that will put them at the perfect, you know, this is where JTB happens. And if you see that your opponent delay techs, you want to walk back a little bit so that the roll doesn't push them out of the corner. This is it's really hard to explain because, like, I'm afraid I don't know how to report it.
Yeah,
So
I'm
we're,
trying
like, I can,
to see if I can
completely do it.
record it.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know what to
Uh,
do. Let's do. Yeah, I'm like trying to.
You know what? I have an idea. I'm gonna switch to back to Shabers.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can record it here as well.
So I'm gonna switch back to Shabers and then maybe switch to your screen.
Okay.
And then be Narukami and show the counterplay. And I'm gonna show like the punish, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Alternatively, we could set up a training lobby really quick, like just online.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. Actually,
Do you want to
probably
do that
best
real fast?
idea, right?
Yeah, we'll just do that real fast. Yeah. So we're just gonna go do it.
It's hard to, like, you know, because you have to control 2 people.
Okay, I have one up. Just join mine.
We didn't plan for this.
Yeah. Quick training lobby interlude. But it's important. It's important.
Should I be?
I'll be Narukami.
Okay, yeah, this is yeah, we definitely didn't plan for this. It is very important to understand that there are counters to what everyone knows as the counter to the laser. Laser is very strong, and it's very strong for, like, you know, other reasons.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Yep. And same situation.
And,
Yeah.
like, that's it. That's the you know,
Yeah.
if I
That's the counter. The counter to counter.
so there definitely is, like, kind of like a RPS situation. Like, if your opponent blocks it, then great. That's a win for us because we want the opponent to be locked down.
Oh, yeah,
Or,
wait,
you
let
know,
me
like,
actually
take a
block.
hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, like, block it.
Yeah. Oh, wait, and I didn't, delay tech, right?
Just block everything.
Okay.
You know, like, even that's good. But, like,
Yeah.
if your opponent delay techs,
Okay, delay tech now.
delay
Okay.
tech at this time.
Yep.
Yeah, like, that's still them being locked down in the corner.
Yeah, or if I roll and you get the
And-
punish. You'll also,
Yeah.
hit me again. You'll also sometimes see delay.
Wait, restart the room. Restart it.
Okay. Yeah.
No. Don't exit out. What I mean.
Wait, what happened?
Just, like, restart the position.
Yeah, Oh, wait, how we got ported?
Oh, damn, of course.
I was like, what happened?
Typical Persona, can't.
But you'll also see delay tech DP as well. Let me. I can
yeah.
show delay tech DP.
Actually, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And yeah, it does work. Like, if you autopilot.
Yeah.
There are other punishes. The best punish, which I didn't do, was the 2B, but.
So yeah, so sometimes on laser, like, you know, if they're like really, you know, antsy on it, or, you know, they're trying to,
Yeah.
you know, they're trying to,
Certain
just waiting can be good as well.
Yeah. certain DPs can hit, like Chie's, or, like, you know, the ones that do, like, a diagonal up.
Mm-hmm.
Chie is a good example, but, like, if you
Mitsuru.
wait, yeah, if you wait and like, if you wait, you can get a better punish. You know, like your opponent has delay tech, so like, you know, I don't have to do any. Oops, I don't have to do anything until the laser connects.
Mhm. And something like in that situation, yeah, there you go. Yeah, like I'll do a ranged SB Guillotine, just like
Oh, I
two
can't
and
get this.
four AB, 2-1-4 B, and you can get a nice combo off of that. But yeah, SB Guillotine from distance becomes a nice option.
Reset so we don't get timed out.
Yep.
Does this happen every time?
that's so weird. Yeah.
Oh
So
my god.
wow. Well, okay.
Persona,
I think
Persona being Persona.
So I think I have to do it from. Yeah.
Oh,
Interesting.
the menu?
Yeah, I guess I have to do it from the menu, but I think that shows the idea pretty much.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's like there's counter, and that's the counter, and that's the counter to the counter.
Yeah. It's just to put that on people's radars.
So you will see that people know how to counter it, and they will do it.
Yeah.
And we know how to counter that.
Yeah.
So it is important to punish your opponent for thinking that they can play the game.
Yeah. So yeah, so I guess that's probably a good place to stop. We got through more than I thought we'd get through, which was nice. We spent a little longer this time, but yeah.
Next time I think it's good to cover more of these situations, because Shab has a ton. The reason it's so hard to get everything is because Shab has so much to deal with.
Yeah, there's a lot of like different scenarios and like, you know, situations that you run into that like just, you know, like again, it's a process learning over time, like, you know, how to respond to certain situations, how to make certain confirms in certain situations. So I'd say next time, we can cover like, I think we've gone over a good amount of like BnBs. I would say we can cover like more laser stuff. Like mid-screen laser is its own thing. Mid-screen laser is, I would say, more complicated than corner laser, because there's more variables with the distance that the laser actually is from the opponent that will affect like what to do. And then like how to confirm from mid-screen laser, we can talk about mid-screen laser, and also like common hits you'll get, like, you know, air to airs or like Asterius hits, and then like, you know, confirms to do from there. I think would be good. And then
maybe it's a good time to cover the bite.
Yeah, and then maybe like bite after that. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is really good.
Yeah.
It's like what you're probably here for.
Yeah. And again, just bite is so in depth. I mean, we can even just do bite next. And save. But yeah, but we'll have something ready. But yeah.
Okay.
I think that's that's it for now. So if there's thanks for the questions in chat earlier to Odalu. Again, I'll get this chaptered up, VOD going, and yeah, hope to see you guys around, and we'll be doing more of this.
Yeah, thank you for joining, everyone who has been here. You know, if you came in later, if you came in from the beginning, it's great to see you. We're gonna be back with another installment next time.
Yeah, so it'll probably be a little bit, you know, since it's holiday season right now. It'll probably be a little bit, but we'll be back. So yeah. But otherwise, everyone take care of yourselves, and we'll see you all later.
Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Yep.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, take care. Signing off.